Hello guys, welcome to Malik 034 channel. This is Mallikarjun. In today's session, I'm going to cover some of the basics topics of Oracle Data Guard. There are a lot of changes and a lot of improvements, a lot of new feature and a lot of enhancement happened from compare with 11G, 12C, 18C and 19C. But if you stand by the basic architecture and the basic thumb rule, the processors and the architecture and the log apply method, everything is going to be same, but there are some enhancement, there are some new advanced feature compared between the version to version. But the today's session I'm going to limit only for the basic fundamental concept and basic fundamental understanding, where if you are strong in fundamental understanding, so the getting into the new enhancement or new feature, it is very easy. So I'm going to cover basic fundamental of Oracle Data Guard, and then in my next session I'm going to cover what are the new feature and what are the enhancement. So if you are new to my channel, I strongly suggest you to go back to YouTube and search Malik 034 channel and subscribe my channel. And if you like my videos, please do share, subscribe and comment. And let's get started. Okay, so there are a couple of Oracle document I mentioned here. You can go back to Oracle docs.oracle.com. There is Oracle 19C database, and you can go through their administration guide and fundamental guide. And there's a standby database for 19C. You can always go back and refer. It has A to Z, and it has a lot of from the beginning to all the advanced feature. Everything is covered here. So for the quick understanding, I'll just show you. I already opened here now, 19C data guard setup. You can always refer this guide. This is very beautiful, and it has all content, starting from the how to implement, how to troubleshoot, and what is the difference between the standalone and rack, and what are the 19C new feature. Everything it has. I strongly recommend to go through this document. And also there are a couple of blogs I have written on, especially on this data guard. One is role management, and one is complete understanding and creating a physical standby, and step by step to configure 11G physical standby database, and configuration of physical standby database with shortcut method. So there are so many blogs I written on this data guard setup. So you can search on my blog malik034blogspot.com. Okay, let's get started. First point, you have to understand what is primary database and what is standby database. Everyone knows primary database is a production database where your live transactions are happening. That database will be in read-write mode. And then coming to the standby database is going to be a replica of your production database. And then this standby database might be in mount mode, open read-only mode, or read-write mode. So all three options are possible here, and your production database is in read-write mode, right? So going to the next, what are the type of standby database you can see. Guys, just to think, it is a basic understanding I'm giving you, because once you are very strong in basic understanding, so you can crack any versions of data guard, and you can understand any versions of data guard, and you can easily adopt what are the new features or what are the enhancement in that new versions. So please be clear here. Please bear with me, and then it is a basic understanding. It is very very important for understanding data guard or golden gate. Okay, so you are clear with the primary database and standby database. So why we need a standby database? Standby database, we need it for the disaster recovery. In case of your production goes down, you can immediately start your database and your point your application, and you can make your application as the primary database. So in case of disaster recovery I'm talking about, right? So that is called failover. And every organization used to do the DR drill, to a business continuity plan. They used to do DR drill once in a year or twice in a year. What do you mean by DR drill? So you are converting your primary as a standby and standby as a primary. So switching the roles, primary database become your standby database and standby database become your primary database, and then pointing your application to the whichever the primary database. So that is called DR drill. So that is, we call it as a switchover in a data guard concept. One is a switchover and one is a failover. Switchover is like converting the roles. Primary becomes standby, standby become primary. And failover is once your primary is crashes, primary data center goes under disaster, and you are immediately switching your standby as a primary database and connecting your application. That is called switchover, right? So you understood with failover and switchover. Those are the two concepts in data guard. So coming to the types of standby database, what are the types of standby database? Basically there are three types of standby database: physical standby database, logical standby database, and snapshot standby database. And in physical standby database, redo apply, and then uh, the database is going to be in open read only. And in logical standby, it's a SQL apply, and SQL apply means logical SQL statement, logical change record LCR, and then database is in open read write. And in snapshot database, no redo apply, and database is in open read write. Okay, so in physical standby, I said redo apply. Whatever redo logs, whatever archive logs are getting transferred to your standby database are going to apply. And in the logical standby database, whatever SQL you are going to transfer, whatever redo you are going to transfer to SQL, that are going to convert it as a SQLs, and with the help of LCR, right, logical change record, and those SQL statements are going to execute at your database and then are going to apply at the standby side. And in physical standby side, sorry, in snapshot standby database, sorry, in snapshot standby database, there are no redo apply. Whatever redo logs comes, whatever archive log comes to your standby database, it is not going to apply. It will be archived and it will be saved in your archive destination. Once you convert back your snapshot database to logical snapshot, and all the archives whatever collected are going to apply. Okay, you just understand physical standby database is a redo apply, logical standby is a SQL apply, and snapshot standby there is no redo apply. And then in physical standby, it will allow user to allow use of Oracle Active Data Guard with a read only mode, right? What this means, or what this sentence means, I just written allows users of Oracle Active Data Guard option read only and open mode, right? Allows use of Oracle Active Guard. Oracle Active Data Guard, Oracle Active Guard, you just think of what you mean by Oracle Active Data Guard. Oracle Active Data Guard is a again separate license you have to buy. If your physical standby database, you cannot it is a default comes with your enterprise license, but if you want to opt your Oracle Active Data Guard, you have to go for separate license. This is if you purchase this particular license for this physical standby database, and then you can open your database in open mode with help of this Active Data Guard, right? Allows use of Active Data Guard. With the help of Active Data Guard only you can open your database. And then when you have a physical standby database, you can do switchover and failover operation, right? You can switchover and failover operation is permitted in case of physical standby database. In logical standby database, as I said, redo apply, LCR, logical change records, and database is going to be in open read write. This logical standby open for user access while applying the changes. It means your whatever the changes, whatever redo is generated at the primary are going to apply at your standby side, and at the meantime it is allows user to access for querying, right? Both are possible simultaneously. Redo also apply, and it is allowed to user to access your database for remote reporting purpose. Logical standby tables can be open for SQL queries. Logical standby tables where you can allow user to query the tables, where you will get the latest data once your LCR applied. And all other standby tables can be open for the update. You can do DML operations. Both, like this database is in open read write, then that's the reason you can do your update queries, and also you can select queries, and at the same time your SQLs are also going to apply at your standby side. Coming to the snapshot standby database, there is no redo apply, and database is in open read write mode, and it has a guarantee restore point. Like to create the snapshot standby database, your database must be a logical standby database. Then if your logical standby database, on this logical standby database you are going to create your guarantee restore point. Once you create a guarantee restore point, and your guarantee restore point is nothing but snapshot restore point, right? So and then you are opening your database in read write mode. So it is kind of a full-fledged open database. You can do any activities, any DML operation you can do it, but there is no read apply. Whatever the changes are going to happen at the primary side, those real-time data is not going to apply at your standby side. And then the switch over and failover is not possible in this snapshot database, because it is opened with read write mode with a snapshot standby database. With a snapshot standby database you cannot do switch over or failover to your production database. So just understand physical standby database, logical standby database, and snapshot standby database. And in physical, redo apply and open read only, and in logical, SQL apply and open read write, and in snapshot, no redo apply, open read write mode. These are the modes. And in physical standby database and logical standby database you can do switch over and failover, and in snapshot standby database there is no switch over and failover operation. Okay, going to the next third point. What are the data guard services? You can say there are three data guard services: redo transport service, apply service, and role transmission service. Okay, I'll come back to this. What you mean by. I'll quickly explain what is this redo transmission. Redo transmission at the primary side, apply services at the standby side. Role transmission is like switch over and failover, converting your role. Primary becomes standby, standby become primary. And apply services are like redo apply and SQL apply. Using with the help of MRP process, you can apply all the redo changes to your standby database. And redo transmission service is at the primary side. Production archives, right? Production archives, whatever redo you generate at the production side are going to transfer to your archive destination, standby archive destination. So and then manage process resolving the gap. So what is redo transfer service do? It will manage the archive gap. When there is an archive gap at your secondary side, this redo transport service is going to fulfill that request, and automatically detect missing archive log at the standby side or any corrupted archive log at the standby side, and it will resend that particular archive log. So these are the services done by this redo transport service. And apply services like applying your archive log at the standby side, like redo apply and SQL apply with the help of MRP process or real-time apply. And then role transmission is like switch over and failover. Okay, redo transport services at primary side and apply services at standby side, and role transmission is like both the side, like switch over and failover. Okay, going to the next fourth one. What are Oracle data guard protection mode? There are obviously three protection mode: maximum availability, maximum performance, and maximum protection. Okay, maximum availability is the zero data loss, and maximum protection is a zero data loss, and in maximum performance minimal data loss. In maximum performance I am worried about my production database performance. I am not worrying about my standby database. Whether standby database archive logs are applying or not, I don't bother. I am least bothered about my standby database, but I want 100% performance or maximum performance at my production site. So that is why I am not worrying at the standby side. There might be some minimal data loss. Okay, redo transportation done asynchronously. So I will cover this point later. Okay, in the availability mode, maximum availability and maximum protection, zero data loss, right? Both the way. Okay, and then redo transport is synchronous, and in maximum protection, redo transport is synchronous, and in maximum performance, redo transport is asynchronous. What do you mean by synchronous? Synchronous means applying your transactions, applying your whatever SQLs at the production side, right? Whatever transactions are happening at the production side, applying those transactions at your productions at your primary side and secondary side at the same time. Whatever transactions happens at the production side, those transactions are immediately going to write at your production site as well as the DR site. Immediately you are going to write it. So that is called asynchronous. And asynchronous means whatever the transactions happen at the primary side, you are going to do archive at the production side first, and then once you do archive at the production side, you are sending it to the standby side, and then standby it's going to apply its data. So it is like asynchronous. First you will apply at the production and then it will transfer it to the standby and then it will apply at the standby side. In the synchronous side, what happen? The moment transactions happen, the same transaction is going to write in both production and standby simultaneously. That we mean by synchronous. You just understand, in availability zero data loss and it is synchronous. In production zero data loss and synchronous. In performance it's it's a minimal data loss and it's asynchronous. Means synchronous and asynchronous, like whatever transactions happens at the primary side are going to write it simultaneously at production and data standby side. Asynchronous means it will first write it at production side and then it will transfer it to the standby side. Okay, then third point is, in availability it will allow the primary to continue and standby to fall slightly behind. What happens in availability mode? Even though it is synchronous and transactions are writing both production and standby side simultaneously, sometimes your standby is going to be lagging. Your standby is not in sync with your primary side. In that case also, it will allow your production database to up and running. It means even though there is a gap between the primary and secondary, your primary database will be up and running. Users are allowed to do queries and users are allowed to do transactions. And what happens in the protection mode? Primary will wait for response from the standby. The moment transactions are writing at the primary side and secondary side, once it completes its writing, it has to send the acknowledgement back to production that my standby side I completed writing. The moment it sends the acknowledgement to production, the production database commits. The moment you commit at the in the protection mode, the moment you do SQL and do commit, and you have to wait until the transactions are applied at the standby side and the standby has to send the acknowledgement and your production has to receive that acknowledgement, and the moment the production receives that acknowledgement, your commit is going to successful. So until then your primary database is going to wait. In case due to some network issue your standby is not going to send your acknowledgement, your production database is going to be it is going to be hung forever state and you will not be allowed to do any further transaction, right? So in the primary will going to be halt. Primary database is going to be in hung state until it gets the acknowledgement from the standby side. So these are the three protection modes: maximum availability, maximum performance, and maximum protections. So if you slightly compare with availability and protection mode, both are same. No, zero data loss, synchronous transport, and this also synchronous transport. And only difference is this protection mode, it has to get at any cost it has to get the acknowledgement from your standby database. In the availability mode, primary database will wait for certain time. For example, assume that 1 minute, 1 minute it is going to wait for the acknowledgement from the standby side. Standby database is going to send the acknowledgement within 1 minute, then your primary database will continue working as it is. If your standby database is not going to send the acknowledgement, it is not going to send the acknowledgement within that 1 minute time, and then your production database will discard that acknowledgement and it will continue to work. So what is the parameter you can differentiate between the maximum availability and maximum protection mode? There is a one particular parameter. I will show you that parameter name. Okay, where is that parameter? Give me a second. Okay, you can see, right, net underscore timeout. So this is the parameter you're going to set it in the maximum availability mode. What happens until this particular time your primary database waits. Say for example some transactions happen at primary side, it is going to send the transaction to the standby side, and you set that net timeout as 60 seconds. Within that 60 seconds, if your your standby database sends the acknowledgement to your production database and then commit happens and the next transactions are allowed, and within that 60 minutes if the primary database did not receive any acknowledgement, your primary database will discard that acknowledgement statement and then it will continue to work. So that is the only difference between the maximum availability and maximum protection. In the maximum protection there is no timeout. It has to wait whatever the time it is. It is 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, until the standby sends the acknowledgement. Primary database is going to wait. In the maximum availability, standby database production database will wait until this net timeout. If the net timeout crosses, it will discard that acknowledgement statement and then it will continue to work. That's the only difference compared to this. Okay, going to the next. There's a physical standby database creation, and there's a logical standby database creation. There's a, again, I as I told you, this 19C, there's a MOS document. It has a clear steps are given. So I request everyone to go to this particular document and refer it. Okay, so then what are the processes are involved in your data guard setup? There's a log writer, LGWR, archive and archival process, and LNS, network service processor, and RFS, remote file server, MRP, managed recovery process, LSP, logical standby process, LCR, logical change record. Right, these are the processes. Okay, so this just a brief description I gave explanation. So if you go to my PPT, it is a clear understanding. I made some graphical animated designing for understanding. So let's get started with this. I'm going to cover only three topics here: data guard basics, types of standby database, and data guard role management service. So remaining switchover and failover we'll cover in the next session. And and then what is data guard? We already covered. We will be having my primary database, and there's a log writer process. Log writer process is going to write it to online redo log. Online redo log, again there's archiver process. This archiver process is going to archive this online redo log, and then archive redo logs or archives are going to return into my archive destinations at the production side. This is a production setup. And production database with the DR setup is going to be primary database. Log writer service is going to write into redo logs, and then there's archiver process. Archiver process is going to write my online redo log to archive destination. And then there's the LNS process. LNS process I already explained, right? LNS process is going to send my redo logs, archive redo logs or redo logs to RFS, remote file service at the standby side, and then the my redo logs are going to apply to my standby redo logs, and then from the standby redo log, archives are going to generate at my DR site, and these archive redo logs are going to apply at my standby database using MRP process. You can apply this archive redo log, standby archive redo log to my standby database using MRP process, or standby redo log you can apply to your standby database using the real time. So this is called real time, and this is called MRP apply, archive apply, right? What are the standby database types? Physical standby, logical standby, and snapshot standby. Physical standby is like identical copy of your primary database, and redo changes. I said like physical standby is the redo apply, and redos are transported from primary to standby. Primary side, it will redos will be shifted from primary to standby, and redos are going to apply. It's a redo apply, and can switch over, right? We can do when you have a physical standby database, you can do switch over and fail over. And then in logical standby, redos are copied from primary to standby. Changes are converted into logical change records, and then logical change records are going to apply at your standby side, right? So if you see here, compared to this physical standby, transported from primary to standby and applied at the standby side. Here also redo copies from primary to standby, and redos are converted into LCR, logical change record, and LCRs are going to apply using SQL apply. And then standby database can be opened for update. You can open your database for update, right? And then may need a larger system. So if this is not worrying, okay. I'll just go back to my slide here. I told you three protection mode, right? Redo apply, SQL apply, right? So and then here no redo apply. That is what I covered here in this slide. Okay, redo apply, and then okay, data guard, right? Redo log shipping. Redo log shipping, how it happens? There are two kinds of redo log shipping. Either you can transport your archive logs from production to standby, or from the directly log writer can ship your redo logs from production to standby. You first generate the archive logs at the primary side, right? You first generate the archive logs at the primary side and send it to standby side, or you, without generating the archive logs at the primary side, the redo log itself we can ship it to standby side. There are two ways it's possible. One is the archive background process is responsible for sending the archive logs, copies completed redo logs file to standby. Means completed redo log means your archive logs. You are sending your archive log to standby side with the help of archive background process. Okay, log writer background process, like without archiving here in the primary side, directly redo log is going to send it to standby side, and then simultaneously you are going to apply both primary and standby together. Here in the log transmission log transport mode, there are synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous mode means what happens? Asynchronous mode, what happens? Redo logs, like a redo returned by the log writer to local disk. Means at the primary side, redos are going to write it to primary disk first, and then once returned to the primary disk, uh, redos are going to send it to standby side. First it will write at primary side and send it to secondary side. And in synchronous side, what happens? Log writer is going to write redos both at primary and standby at the same time. And then while doing that operation, there is a affirm and no affirm. Affirm means it has to wait for the confirmation back from your standby side. The moment you write your redo log, both primary and standby, and then primary database is going to wait for the acknowledgement from the standby side, that is affirm. No affirm means it will not wait for, I am going to write it redo logs to the standby, I will not wait whether it is going to complete or not at the standby side. So there are two modes here. So if I can go back to my notes, I covered here two modes, right? Availability, maximum protection, and maximum performance. Synchronous, simultaneously it's going to apply at primary and standby side, and then asynchronous. So this is what I covered here. And then next, two types of redo transmission I said: archive transmission and log writer transmission. So what happens in the redo transmission? Your production database and the log writer is going to write online redo logs. Online redo logs are going to be archives here in the archives here in the primary side. These archive logs are going to ship into your RFS, ship to your standby database, and then RFS are going to write into your standby redo log, and then at the standby redo log it is going to standby archive logs, and then these standby archive logs are going to apply at your standby side using MRP. This is called redo transmission. Redo transmission using archive. First you are generating the archive log at the production side and then shipping it to the secondary, and then archiving at the secondary side, and then applying using MRP process. And what happened in log writer redo transmission? There is a primary database and log writer writing online redo log. Online redo logs are going to be archived using archive process, and this online redo log I am talking about asynchronous. Log writer first writes into redo logs, production redo logs and local disk first, and then these after writing into the local disk in the production side, LNS process are sending to RFS. RFS are going to write into standby redo logs, and standby redo logs are going to archive into your archive standby archives, and then these standby archives you are going to apply to your standby database using MRP process, or directly from the redo log, standby redo log you are going to apply to your standby database. This is a real-time apply. This is going to be real-time apply. Once you generate archive and then apply here, it is going to be not a real-time apply. But what happens here? This is asynchronous. Means first primary is written here. I am not worrying about the standby side. Standby, whether you are going to write correctly or not, I am not worrying. But I have written at my side. So that is asynchronous. This primary database will not wait for standby confirmation. And what happens in the synchronous transmission mode? There is a primary database, log writer, and online redo log, and then online redo log is going to write on online archive logs at the production side, and directly from the redo log buffer and redo log, right? So it's going to, with the help of LNS, it's going to send it to RFS. RFS will receive this LNS request, and then it is going to write it to my standby redo log, and then standby redo log is going to generate my standby archives. And again, the apply process, you can go with the real time using standby redo log, or you can go with the archive redo log apply. This is not a real time, and this is a real time. So what happens in this case? This is the synchronous mode. So this log writer is going to write both standby side and primary side at the same time. You can see, right, directly from the log writer it's going to write it to standby redo log, and it's going to write it to online redo log. So this production database, now what happens, it has to wait until the acknowledgement, until the standby redo logs are written, this production database is going to wait, and then the moment the writing to this standby redo logs are complete, it will send the acknowledgement back to your production database, and then production database will continue to work. That is a synchronous, means you are writing both production redo logs and standby redo logs at the same time. So this is a synchronous transmission. So I hope guys this is very clear understanding of redo transmission, how it applies, what is the real time apply, what is MRP apply. So if any queries and concerns, please do reach out to me on my social media, LinkedIn, YouTube, WhatsApp, my blog, and you can ping me on my WhatsApp. I am ready to answer your queries. So in the next session, I'm going to cover switchover, failover, and role transmission with the live examples. With this concept, I do have a couple of questions. If you are able to answer this, that will be great. Okay, the question is, what are the scenarios where you can see standby DB will go for out of sync? As I said, like production and standby database always going to be in sync. So what are the scenarios you can see that production database is out of sync? Your production database and standby database out of sync, and you can give me 4 scenarios, and if you can give me more than 4 scenarios also, it's best, well and good. I'm expecting at least 4 scenarios. If you understood my concept very well, I can give you a number of scenarios here in my next session. The next question is, your archive destination is full, and how you immediately take a necessary action on this. I'm expecting 1 or 2 solutions for this. You can give me one sentence answer, not a technical brief, is not a technical command line answers I'm expecting. Just give me what are your approach, just in 1 line or 2 line. These 2 questions are very important. Every interview they are going to ask on DataGuard. These are the 2 important questions. One is like on what are the scenarios where your standby and production go out of sync. Give me 4 scenarios. I have so many scenarios. I will tell you, and then how to handle them. I will answer them in next my session. And then the other one, this is a common question. Every interview they will ask, if your archive destination is full, what is your immediate action? How you make sure your database are still up and running. So please please do answer these questions by commenting in my YouTube. I'm going to answer in my next session. And then you can always go back to my YouTube channel, and then you can refer my all the videos which are going to helpful for your interviews and your basic understanding, and strong foundation for your DataGuard. I already covered a lot of sessions on rack, Exadata, performance tuning, Golden Gate. So guys, please do follow me on my YouTube channel. I'll be keep posting my database related so many concepts. So I'm going to build my entire Oracle community. So please do support me guys, and I'm expecting answers.